Southeast Asian countries finding their own way to manage those tariffs from Washington. Economic ministers wrapping up a week-long series of meetings ahead of the annual ASEAN summit next month. Consultations with trade officials from India, Canada, Russia and Hong Kong rounding off the week of meetings, which saw progress on key trade agreements and digital initiatives. The bloc seeking to deepen, diversify and stabilise internal and external economic ties in the face of more US tariffs and larger geopolitical uncertainties. And from CNA's senior correspondent Melissa Goh joins us live from Kuala Lumpur. Melissa, Malaysia's trade minister holding a press conference earlier. What did he say?
Yes, it's been a grueling week with back-to-back meetings among the economic and trade ministers from the 10 ASEAN member countries, as well as their dialogue partners, their counterparts from East Asia, China, Japan, Korea, as well as trade ministers all the way from Australia and New Zealand, and not to mention the bilateral meetings that they had. Now, US Trade Representative Jameson Greer, he was here as well to impress upon ASEAN that this region is still important to the United States, which remains the largest investor and the biggest market for many of ASEAN countries. Now, despite the sweeping tariffs, the US wants to continue to do business, he said, and to negotiate with ASEAN as a bloc and also individually with the member countries. Now, speaking at the news conference just a while ago to wrap up the meeting, while laying the groundwork for next month, the ASEAN Leaders Summit in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia Trade Minister Zafrul Aziz, who's the host, said that ASEAN cannot be overly fixated on the issue of tariffs with the US and be distracted by it. Just earlier, of course, you heard Trump administration has just announced more tariffs on a series of goods, including furniture and pharmaceuticals, which Malaysia will be affected. Minister Zafrul wants to know the detail, especially on semiconductors, but he said he's not surprised. Therefore, ASEAN, he stressed, must focus full steam ahead to speed up integration, to expand trade within ASEAN, to build supply chain, inter-ASEAN trades remain low at 24%. Diversify, explore new markets, new external partners. Here's what he said. Let's take a listen.
So for us, US have their right to do what they need to do. But for us, we should continue to support multilateralism and continue to diversify, strengthen our companies, and we cannot be too focused on just a decision by the US or any other country for that matter.
Now, there was a meeting, remember yesterday, by RCEP, which is the largest trading bloc. The ministers here to further talk about expanding the bloc to include more countries. Now, so far, Hong Kong, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka and Chile have applied to join. And Minister Zafrul also announced several key priorities that the economic ministers of ASEAN have agreed, including upgrading the existing free trade agreements with China and ASEAN, and also the existing FTA with Korea and India, and the upgraded trading goods agreement within ASEAN, he said, is expected to boost trade and also remember the digital economic framework agreement, DEFA, that has substantially concluded negotiation. That will spearhead digital economy that's estimated to reach $2 trillion by 2030. Now, the ATIGA upgrade and the ASEAN-China Free Trade Agreement are expected to be signed when leaders meet in October here in Kuala Lumpur at the ASEAN Summit.
That senior correspondent Melissa Goh reported live from Kuala Lumpur on the outcomes of this meeting of economic ministers from ASEAN.